At the peak of America's old money era, just 1% of families controlled over 50% of the country's wealth. And yet, today, many of those once powerful names have completely disappeared from history. What separates a fortune that disappears from one that survives centuries? Studies show 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation. By the third, almost 90%. But old money families? They figured out how to make it last hundreds of years. What's the real difference between wealth that disappears and wealth that lives forever? And stick around to the end, because I'll reveal the one reason even old money families eventually lose it. A reason almost no one talks about. Is it just about how much you make? Not even close. Old money isn't about big paychecks. It's about building a machine that keeps working, long after you're gone. Think about it. John D. Rockefeller became America's first billionaire over 100 years ago. Today, his descendants control foundations, banks, land, and influence, without being household names. So if it's not about earning, and it's not about spending, then what is it about? Do old money families just hoard their wealth and live off it? No. The smart ones grow it quietly. They invest it, protect it, and embed it into systems, trusts, companies, even family-controlled businesses that survive market crashes, wars, and political changes. New money says, I have money. Old money says, I am the steward of a legacy. Having money is not the same as being money. New money often ties identity to lifestyle. The cars, the vacations, the penthouses. Old money ties identity to responsibility, to protect, to grow, and to honor the work of past generations. Take the Vanderbilt family. Cornelius Vanderbilt built one of the greatest fortunes in American history through shipping and railroads. But by the 1970s, at a family reunion of 120 descendants, not one was a millionaire. Why? Because they spent as if the fortune was endless, funding mansions, extravagant parties, and endless luxuries, but never passed down the mindset of stewardship. Contrast that with families like the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. They embedded education into their legacy, not just financial education, but a philosophy. You are responsible for more than yourself. That's the difference between living for today and protecting a dynasty. New money builds flash. Old money builds foundations. Having money is one thing. Building a system that outlasts you, that's another level entirely. Here are 5 things that old money families create. 1. Trust funds. Not just gifts, but legally binding vehicles to protect assets from poor decisions, taxes, and lawsuits. 2. Family offices. Private firms that manage family investments, taxes, and legal issues, like having your own private Wall Street. 3. Dynasty trusts. Structures designed to preserve wealth for multiple generations, not just your kids. 4. Private investment companies. They own stakes in businesses, stocks, real estate, sometimes without even using their own names. And 5. Real estate portfolios. Properties passed down carefully, not flipped for short-term gain. John D. Rockefeller wasn't just America's first billionaire. He was a master of long-term strategy. He created trusts so complex that no single heir could access enough to squander the fortune. Even today, Rockefeller descendants quietly control investments, land, and influence, protected by structures built a century ago. A personal account gets drained when times get hard. A family office invests, grows, and protects, like an engine that runs forever. Culture eats cash for breakfast. Without it, even the biggest fortunes rot. Money can buy houses, cars, vacations. But it cannot buy culture, and without culture, wealth dies. Here's what old money families focus on: private schools, elite education, not just for knowledge, but for networking with other powerful families, family retreats, annual or semi-annual gatherings where values are reinforced and the younger generation is taught the family's story, family governance, rules about how the family operates, decisions on investments, philanthropy, even how disputes are settled. Duty and humility training, teaching the next generation that being born into wealth is a duty, not a trophy. Look at the DuPont family. Despite building one of the largest fortunes in American history, they invested heavily in family governance, setting up councils, meetings, and education programs. Or the Mars family, creators of M&Ms and Snickers, who teach every generation that the family fortune isn't just about candy bars, it's about upholding standards. Without culture, even the biggest fortunes rot from within. So what is the one reason even old money families eventually fall? It's not just money. It's not even bad investments. It's the loss of vision. When a family forgets why the wealth was built, when it becomes just about money, not about mission, it all falls apart. Think, the decline of the Vanderbilt wealth. Modern lottery winners losing fortunes in under a decade. Every fortune, no matter how massive, can be erased by ego, entitlement, and division. And the lesson isn't just for billionaires. Today, we live in a world where more people are building wealth faster than ever. Startups, crypto, real estate. But the truth is, if there's no vision, no values, and no system, even modern fortunes can vanish just as fast as the old ones did. Wealth has never been just about money. It's always been about the story you build around it. Wealth built fast fades fast. Wealth forged with vision, with values, with systems, survives. And in the stories of old money, the real lessons aren't about the money at all. They're about the mindset, the systems, and the culture that make wealth and power last. If you want to understand how the world's greatest fortunes were built, lost, and sometimes rebuilt, subscribe to Forged in Fortune. Because the past doesn't just tell stories, it leaves blueprints.